We're good people. We love our son. We've done everything we can. People say we'd move mountains, we'd do this, we'd do that. You've never been in our situation. You don't know what it's like.
Vernal DeOrr Kunz is fighting back. Thursday morning, he was in court asking Judge Bruce Pickett to reconsider a lawsuit against private investigator Philip Klein. Kunz and his father, Dennis Kunz, sued Klein's for breach of contract, infliction of emotional distress, libel, slander, and fraud. They had hired the Texas-based PI to look into the disappearance of Vernal's son, DeOrr Jr. They weren't happy after Klein made public accusations and statements about Vernal and baby DeOrr's mother, Jessica. Most of the lawsuit was dismissed earlier this year, but Kunz's attorney, Alan Browning, wants Pickett to revisit the issue.
This is a man that's been wronged by Mr. Klein and by a lot of people listening to Mr. Klein and believing his lies.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Browning is referring to Klein's public statements and this 132-page transcript taken from a private meeting between Klein and the Kunz family in January 2016.
He told Vernal that he was not allowed to have his attorney with him because if Vernal brought his attorney with him, then he wouldn't tell the family members any information about the investigation into the disappearance of their son.
During the meeting, Klein mentions that he has a good relationship with Quantico. A woman asks, "Who's Quantico?" And Klein responds, "Quantico is the FBI headquarters. They're going to be flying some people in this week."
He said that he had access to Jessica's interviews with the FBI, and that during the course of those interviews that Jessica was burning him and saying that it was all Vernal. Vernal did everything. And that's false. And Jessica didn't say anything like that. And the FBI would never share interviews with Mr. Klein anyway. And they never shared any polygraph information with Mr. Klein.
The transcript also shows Klein saying, "I know 2 FBI agents, and I know 2 people on my staff who think it is possibly a premeditated situation, because the deal they're offering to everyone is it's an accident, people. We're not going to prosecute you for the accident. We're just going to say you moved a body when you shouldn't have. You made a false police report, 90 days probation, pay us a $250 fine, have a good life, and go expunge your record." And they got a judge up there that's already said he will sign expungements. Klein's assistant then says, "Seriously," and Klein responds, "Seriously. That's the deal on the table. It doesn't get any better than that."
No, he's in no position to say anything like that. Klein is out there making false statements to the world, and they're absolute fabrications about failing polygraph tests and about lying repeatedly and changing a story. None of that stuff is true.
In an email to East Idaho News, Klein says Browning is taking his statements out of context. "We did, in fact, have meetings, with LEOs, and it was shared with us that Vernal and Jessica failed multiple polygraph tests. In the meetings, representatives of the FBI and county law enforcement were in the room." You can read Klein's entire statement on eastidahonews.com. Kunz says the PI's public statements in the past have made his life a living hell, especially to those who make accusations on social media.
I see the comments. I've been called scumbag, I've been called murderer, I've been called baby killer, I've been called all kinds of things. I don't want your apology. You know what, how about this? Quit judging next time you see things you don't understand. If it's on Facebook, you're not Facebook detectives, you're not keyboard warriors.
Kunz is now working with a different private investigator from North Carolina named David Marshburn.
So far, I have not found anything that has led me to believe that Vernal or Jessica had anything to do with it.
Pickett did not issue a ruling on Browning's request. It could come in the next few weeks, and the attorney is optimistic it will be in Kunz's favor. Regardless, he says he wants the truth out about Philip Klein and Vernal DeOrr Kunz.
I'm here for Vernal. Vernal's a good man. He didn't do anything wrong. He's a victim. His son has either been kidnapped or worse. Something happened to his son. He doesn't know what happened to his son. He's a victim here.
I still have hope that I'm going to find my son, that he was taken. There's no evidence that shows I'm wrong. People are going to argue with me. There's no evidence to say I'm wrong. David Marshburn and his amazing team and his amazing dogs, they're showing me that the possibility that at least I will have closure, that he may still be up on the mountain. When you're in my situation, hope is the only thing you have. But he's showing me that at least a scenario and a possibility that makes sense, and it's not the one I want, but it is closure. It does lay my little boy to rest, and that is what he deserves.
In Idaho Falls, Nate Eaton, eastidahonews.com.